What's going on, guys? It's Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Painfully Honest Advice. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys my 6 insane risky investments that I made in 2020. Now, here's the thing. 2020 was an insanely risky year to go ahead and invest. And some of the business decisions that I went ahead and made and some of the risks that I actually took, I'm hoping will pay off this year. So I'll go ahead and break it down. We'll start off with the lowest risk investment and we'll go ahead and jump into the highest risk. Now, if you are investing, obviously invest at your own risk. Some of these investments, guys, have already been paying off. Some I'm actually up on and some I'm hopefully looking to go ahead and break even on or make money on this year. Now, if you're new to this channel, I do focus on business, personal finance, and investing. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. And if you like content like this, don't forget to smash that like button. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, the first investment is probably going to be the least risky that I actually took on in 2020, and that was by buying a duplex. Now, I bought another rental property, and basically I bought a duplex right around January, and guess what? The pandemic happened in March, and at that point, I was extremely nervous because everything went down. I mean, even the housing market went down, but it did climb back out, and now the prices on duplexes is actually a lot more. This is actually my duplex that I'm sharing with you guys here. Basically, this is a 2 rental unit property, and the risk that I actually took with this investment was long term. I knew it was going to pay off, so this is probably the lowest risk. But at the same time, when the pandemic happened, people that are renting out had the option of not paying their rent or being able to live for free for at least 90 to 120 days. Basically, the government had said that you cannot go ahead and kick tenants out of your property, and that was the risk on this investment. Plus, guys, because we didn't know what was going to happen with the housing market, that was the other risk. Now, I will tell you guys that I've made over $50,000 already on this property, and that's because market did go ahead and jump back, and properties in the area went ahead and went up by over 20%. So this was a bit of a risky investment to go ahead and make, especially not knowing what was going to happen after the pandemic. At this point, I do feel pretty safe about this investment because in general, real estate's one of those investments that long term usually tends to go ahead and pay off. Now, jumping into the 5th investment. The 5th one is going to be, I started investing in collectibles, and basically I started investing in Funko Pops. I have Funko Pops all around me here. I actually have a headless Ned Stark that I ended up paying right around $900 to $1,000, but right now it's worth around $1,400 to $1,500. Plus, I have other Funko Pops as well. I have White Walker that's worth $200 to $300, as well as I have Bane, and I forget how much that one's worth. So honestly, investing in Funko Pops is a long-term investment. The risk in investing in a Funko Pop is if the price doesn't go up, or let's say it takes 10 or 20 years, it's a long-term hold. You won't see your money right away, but it's fun. I like investing in collectibles. I actually do have Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I have sports cards, and I used to have Pokemon cards. Can't find them right now, but I'll keep you guys posted because I thought about reinvesting in Pokemon cards as well, just because overall, I see that as a good return from an investment standpoint because I do believe Pokemon's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So that was my 5th investment. I'm hoping this investment goes ahead and pays off long term. As far as the overall returns in this investment, I'm not going to probably see any returns on this. So I'm just going to be looking at holding on to these Funko Pops and maybe buying even more expensive Funko Pops down the road just to add on to the collection. Now, jumping into the 4th investment. In 2020, I did go ahead and buy a Tesla Model S. Now, here's the thing. Before I actually got into this car, I looked at the Model 3, looked at the Model S. I personally just like the Model S a little bit better. I did go ahead and buy a 1-year use, so I got a decent deal on it. But at the same time, I actually did not realize all the cost savings that you can have with this car. Now, it was a bit risky of an investment because at the time when I bought the car, I did have a payment of over $1,200 a month. And with the pandemic happening, that was a risk to my overall income. And basically, I'll share with you guys one of my other sources, which took a huge drop. And one of my incomes basically went down to like $0. So end of the day, that was a bit of a risky investment. Personally, I will tell you guys at this point, though, I love Tesla and everything and all the cost savings that once I've had this car that I see is totally worth it. If I had to buy a car again, it would be a Tesla 100%, because there's no servicing with this car. You do get upgrades over the air, which is extremely nice because you can get software upgrades right over the air, just like your iPhone. And additionally, guys, it's fully electric, so you're saving about 1/3 as far as comparing it to gas. So that is another risky investment that I went ahead and made in 2020. Now just jumping into the third one. The third one was investing in stocks and investing in growth stocks, to be more specific. Now, as far as the stock market goes, the stock market, thank God, has gone up and it rebounded fairly quick and it's still hitting all-time new highs at this point. Now, as far as my stock portfolio goes, I have about $96,000 in current value in my portfolio. And out of that, I have about $18,000 invested in growth stocks. Now, the risk of investing in the stock market with the pandemic, the market went down over 30%. But slowly, if we look at the chart, the market did go ahead and rebound. Now, just to share with you guys some of the stocks that I actually own, I'm just going to share with you guys on my computer here as far as the portfolio and just some of the stocks, just for the transparency. If we look at my growth stocks, guys, I have about 10 stocks in here at this point. These are actually all my stocks. I own Tesla, Peloton, Shopify, Square, Lemonade, Zillow, Lululemon, Amazon, Airbnb, and Uber. Now, majority of these stocks I am making money in at this point, but you never know with the stock market, especially in growth stocks, because you're focused on the growth and you're hoping that the companies are making all the right moves and their profits will go ahead and grow. Now, I will say that a lot of these growth stocks are trading at over a 30 PE ratio. That means that they're totally overvalued at this point. I believe there is going to be a correction coming, and I do believe it is going to be sometime middle of this year, but you never know. That's just my thinking around this and my prediction around it. But investing in the stock market is a huge risk that I took. I started investing in these growth stocks later part of 2020, and with growth stocks, they are a bit risky because at the end of the day, you're only making money if the stock price goes ahead and goes up. Now, in total, I do invest in dividend stocks as well. That's a bit safer than growth stocks because you're still making money if the stock price goes down, because you're making those dividends on a quarterly basis, so you're earning some income. Now, guys, the second riskiest investment, and these next two are probably going to be the riskiest, especially during the pandemic. But the second riskiest investment that I made was I actually opened up another restaurant. Now, I do go ahead and invest in different businesses, and in the restaurant field, that field took a very hard hit when the pandemic happened. Basically, restaurants went down to takeout only, and especially in New York, we have the highest regulations around restaurants. And at this point, guys, the restaurant is still takeout only. So we are only making money with takeout. Now, I'm hoping that will eventually change, but with the pandemic, I opened the restaurant later part of last year, and our construction actually was on hold for about 4 months. The project started back in February. We were under construction, then the pandemic happened, so we had to stop our construction. And the opening date actually for the restaurant was May, but we actually opened up in November. So that was unfortunate because everything at the same time went up. The price of labor and material also went up. So that was a huge risk. I'm hoping this investment will go ahead and pay off this year. However, we'll see what happens with the pandemic, but I'm really hopeful that they'll go ahead and let us have dine-in soon enough here, guys. But that was my second riskiest investment. Now, jumping into the first riskiest investment, and if you've been on this channel, you probably already know about this one, but this is by investing in cryptocurrency and specifically investing in Bitcoin. Now, at this point, my portfolio in Bitcoin, I have over 178,000 as far as my overall value. Now, I will say Bitcoin is one of those things that's probably the biggest risk because at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen down the road. It's basically a lot focused on supply and demand, but because more and more financial institutions are getting into Bitcoin, the price is sitting right around $40,000. And I actually started investing in this back in April when the price was right around $6,500 to $7,000. Because at that time, I mean, still to this day, you don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, and it can go up or down over 20 to 30% just overnight. So this is still a very high risk, but this is a risk that I'm willing to go ahead and take on because I do see the potential for this to go ahead and cross $100,000 before the end of 2021. So guys, these are basically going to be the 6 riskiest investments that I made in 2020. I do like to go ahead and keep myself diversified, have income coming in from multiple different channels, and that's what I really try to focus on this channel. Give you guys a look behind the scenes and basically be fully transparent with you guys and share with you guys where my investments are and what my prediction is around those investments. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you like topics like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channels down below. Plus guys, if you don't mind smashing that like button, as it really does keep me motivated to keep producing content for you guys like this. But thanks again guys for watching. I do have a quick plug from my sponsor here. This video is being sponsored by Webull. If you are interested in investing in the stock market, Webull basically gives you the best offer by offering 4 free stocks. You get 2 free stocks when you sign up with them, and then another 2 free stocks when you go ahead and deposit at least $100 in your account. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys at the next one.